Women will. What the? I completely forgot to say angry MGTOW here. That just shows how tired I am today. I'm not exactly tired. My head just hurts. Angry MGTOW here. And women will pretend to care about men. This is a response to the Patriot Nurse. What kind of name is that? Ah. So today we're going to be looking at a video from the Patriot Nurse, and we'll see what she has to say about the radical things that the left is currently doing. Let's jump over here. And it's funny because no matter how nice a woman seems to be, never ever trust them. Let's go ahead and load up the video.
And in today's segment, hey folks, it's Patriot Nurse, and in today's segment I want to discuss with you guys the first week of the Donald's presidency, the left being completely unraveled, and what we can do to prepare for their antics. First things first, the name that I've selected to be my YouTube name, The Patriot Nurse, this isn't about me, but I want to make fair.
So let's look at the narcissism here. The first thing she's going to start off with telling us is about the name she selected for her YouTube channel, which is The Patriot Nurse. And while this isn't about her, the word nurse and patriot all have to do with what she calls herself. But this isn't about her. I just love the starting narcissism of this video.
Disclaimer here. Patriot and nurse. There are two parts of this equation. I'm not just a nurse and I'm not just a patriot. The two of them happen together. There's a synergy that goes on here.
And when you combine them, you get narcissist.
This week, we have seen from the left more of their antics. Not only have they not tried to balance out, oh, we lost an election because our policies are so alienating to the vast majority of America. No. What they've done is to double down on it. And this little women's march, this little stunt from the left has really, I think, magnified what they are all about. There is now a parting of the ways that you're seeing in this nation between the left and everybody else. And when I say the left, I'm not talking about, just to make a distinction, I'm not talking about classical liberalism that says.
So, guys, what is a Patriot Nurse? I mean, she spends a lot of her time making videos on health and prepping, but what is a woman like this doing talking about politics here? I mean, it's just a little interesting. And now, I don't want to pass too many judgments, but here's what I think's what's happening. She's probably in her 30s. She could be in her late 30s. And she wants to get into a relationship, and she realizes that it's not so easy to land a good man in this type of society where men are going their own way. And now she's presenting herself as a leftist. First off, the kinds of videos she makes, she's trying to present herself as a conservative, but the kinds of videos that she makes usually would make me think that she might be more of a liberal anyway. For example, I don't hear her talking about the problems with abortions. I don't hear her talking about female privilege. I don't hear her talking about the hypocrisy of gender wage gap, and I really don't hear her talking about any of these things. It's funny, when I was looking up a video to do a topic on, I typed feminism into her channel, and this video popped up. I mean, so obviously the YouTube algorithm associated with dun feminism. And here she is criticizing the Women's March, but at the same time, she undoubtedly loves all the things that feminism has gotten for her. I kind of find that to be pretty damn hypocritical, where we're going to see more of these women saying they don't like feminism, they don't like the leftist beliefs, but they don't want to give up any of the rights and privileges that the left has unfairly gotten for them. Just gotta love it. Just gotta love the logic of these people.
The government needs to be out of our personal lives. Liberty needs to reign. And we want people to be free to do their own thing. I'm not talking about that at all. I am talking about neo-Bolshevism and Marxism couched in the label of progressivism. That's what's really going on in Washington right now. And all across the country with these little disenfranchised millennial marches and all the washed up, crusty baby boomer women who have been through X number of divorces and who hate men as a general principle. Oh, Patriot Nurse. Oh yeah, the gloves are coming off. It's truth time, baby. So
Whoa. All the crusty baby boomer women who hate men. Crusty, see, that's like I said. So she doesn't look like the Patriot Nurse. She doesn't look like a 20-something. She definitely isn't a 20-something. And she doesn't even look like she's in her early 30s. She looks like she's in her late 30s, maybe even her early 40s. And now she's going after the so-called baby boomer women, when in reality, one of the most narcissistic generations of women are the millennial women. Hands down. Hands down. I like a comment that Yanling makes in the comment section that says, this lady looks like she's wearing a yoga headband and a karate class outfit. It's a downright sad, pathetic, and I'm not going to criticize her. I'm not going to criticize her based on the way she's dressed. I'm looking at a comment section where someone's saying nonsense in the comment section who's undoubtedly going to get banned soon. Yanling says, Patriot Nurse looks like she's about 43. She does look like she's about 43, and she looks like she's single. She honestly comes across like she's single. And I think that that's part of the thing right now. You have these very single women who are now trying to say they're conservatives. They are not, they have not, trying to illustrate that they have not been, riding the proverbial cock carousel. And, as a result of that, they are trying to attract a mate, who will see them as, someone of value. But I mean, if you're this old, if you've hit the wall a while ago, and now you're trying to act like a NeWalt, you've got to be kidding me. And someone like her, honestly, loves feminism. Someone like her is going to love feminism, is going to love everything that feminism got for her, but she's going to hate the fact that feminism is such an ugly label. And here she is, tossing the baby boomer women under the bus and completely ignoring the fact that women in her own generation have been almost just as poisonous as the baby boomer women, because they swallowed the pill that the baby boomer women fed them, and they kept the flag moving. So don't act like you guys didn't have anything to do with it. You're not a victim, and you're also not innocent in this whole feminist thing. You're a part of it. You loved your privilege, and now you see that it's completely eroding, and you want to jump ship.
I want to discuss with you not only their antics, but what they're going to be doing and what we can do to prepare for this.
Whoa. What we can do? I didn't know we were in this together. I never signed up for anything.
Know if you paid attention to it, I'm sure you did, because my followers are for the most part pretty squared away people. The women that were featured at this march in Washington, they include, by the way, a convicted felon, rapist, and murderer named, I want to make sure I attribute it right, Donna Hilton. This woman is who the left believes is a woman worthy of emulation, worthy of praise, worthy of putting your daughter in front of and say, look, honey, here's your role model. And this is going to get a little bit vivid, but I want you to fully understand what these people are about and why at this point I am not going to make any attempts whatsoever to reconcile with them, to have a dialogue with them, to get along with them. This is who they believe is worthy of emulation. Donna Hilton is a convicted rapist and felon, and in 1985, she and her co-conspirators were found guilty of murdering a 60-year-old homosexual man after torturing him for days. They squeezed his testicles with pliers. They beat him. They burned him. She herself personally shoved a yard-long metal rod up his rectum. And of course, they shoved his body into a locker and let it decay. This is who the left thought was such a great example that they featured her at this women's march. Along with Madonna, of course. Last time I checked, I thought she lived in the UK. Did she just get a little bit of patriotic spirit enough to hop on her little jet plane and feature her heavily plasticized face all over the media again? After threatening, of course, to blow up the White House. Yeah, her and Ashley Judd, Donna Hilton, and oh, by the way, a woman who favors Sharia law, who was the co-founder of this march. This is who the left has decided that they want to set up as worthy of emulation, and praiseworthy, and admirable. They have consistently
Now, that's something funny that she does bring up. Donna Hilton is an African American woman who kidnapped, tortured, and murdered a homosexual man back in the 1980s, left his body to decay, and not only was she disgusted at the Women's March, she was there. Why is this woman not in jail for life? The only explanation for that is because, dun dun dun, she's a woman. She's a woman. So of course she can get away with murder. No man would ever get away with sexually assaulting a woman, murdering her in a grievous condition, and then ever see the light of day again. They would have been given the death penalty or undoubtedly life in prison without the possibility of parole. Don't forget that they would also say that it was a hate crime. However, Hilton, on the other hand, is being literally paraded around as a hero. Hilton's name is listed on the Women's March website alongside prominent liberals like Planned Parenthood President Cecile Richards, activist Gloria Steinem, filmmaker Michael Moore, and CNN commentator Van Jones. Let's listen to the story of where Hilton actually came from. And let me see if I can get a picture of this Hilton lady for you. Hilton. Because she is an absolute monster. She's an absolute monster. And also, I'll put a picture on the screen so you can see what this woman actually looks like. Because she was at the Women's March. She was there. She was there, fully featured and proud. So let's go ahead and grab a picture of Hilton for you. And just imagine that this woman was actually at the Women's March. So here's a picture of Donna Hilton. This is a picture of Donna Hilton. And let's go ahead and read a little bit about Donna Hilton. Okay? Let's read a little bit about Donna Hilton. I'm looking at a Daily Caller article, and this was actually published on January 26, 2017. So very, very recent, just a few days ago. And let's talk about this. Hilton, along with 3 men and 3 other women, kidnapped 62-year-old real estate broker Thomas Villalagro. Okay? So they kidnapped him and held him for ransom before eventually killing him, as noted in a 1995 Psychology Today article. When asked about the forcibly sodomizing the victim with a 3-foot steel pope, one of Hilton's accomplices replied, "He was a homo anyway." Speaking about Hilton, New York City Detective Sperling told Psychology Today, "I couldn't believe this girl, who was so intelligent and nice looking, could be so unemotional about what she was telling me she and her friends had done. They squeezed the victim's testicles with a pair of pliers, beat him, burned him." This is a featured speaker at the Women's March. Oh my gosh. According to the same article, Hilton delivered a ransom note to a friend of Villargo's asking for more than $400,000, even though the victim was already dead by that point. A 1985 article in the New York Times, which misspelled Donna's last name as Hilton, it's actually spelled Hylton, not Hilton like Paris Hilton, put the ransom demand at $435,000. For her participation in the murder, according to Psychology Today, Hilton received was sentenced to 25 years in prison. She got 25 years in prison. Just 25 years in prison for torturing, sodomizing, and murdering this man in a heinous way. Literally squeezing this man's testicles with pliers, sodomizing him with a metal rod, murdering him, and then leaving his body to decompose while at the same time attempting to collect almost $500,000 ransom. Organizers of the march, I just can't believe this. Organizers of the march who banned pro-life women from participating did not return the Daily Caller's request for comment regarding Hilton's participation as a featured speaker. Hilton, who now works as an activist for criminal justice reform, participated in a panel last April in support of Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders' failed presidential campaign. Hilton's participation in the Women's March was first pointed out by conservative outlet The American Spectator. Guys, what the hell is going on? This just shows you how sickening America is. When it comes down to Bill Clinton, Bill Clinton has been accused of rape many times at the presidential debate, one of the presidential debates. Donald Trump actually brought the accusers of President Clinton, and they were there, sitting there. But because he's Clinton, he's a Clinton, he got away with it. You see, the liberals can get away with murder. The liberals can get away with rape. They can get away with murder. They can do anything they want to do because that's how corrupt the system is. I'll tell you something very interesting about Donna Hilton. She was convicted of second-degree murder, 2 counts of first-degree kidnapping, sentenced to 25 years to life, but ultimately served 27 years. Why did she serve 27 years? Why did she serve 27 years? It really does sound like this woman potentially was not behaving well in prison, because she would have been eligible to be released from jail earlier before 25 years, probably within 10 or 15 years. So it sounds like she probably was not even behaving in prison. You know what's disgusting? In 2016, it was announced that Rosario Dawson was attached to a movie version of Hilton's life story entitled A Little Piece of Light. The film is in development in search of a screenwriter and director. So Rosario Dawson is going to play Hilton in a movie? You've got to be kidding me. And the movie's called A Little Piece of Light? As though this is something positive that she did? She did something positive? But now she's turned her life around and look at all the great things she's done? When I say that men will never forgive women for feminism, I'm not joking. I'm not joking at all. Let's get back to this fucking video.
Become more and more radical with their rhetoric, more and more violent with their rhetoric. And lest we forget, in the past 8 years, despite the fact that we have been the ones charged with being the domestic terrorist, we here on the right, people who are intimately familiar and skilled with manipulating different weapons, we are the ones who have been labeled as domestic terrorists, but they are the ones overwhelmingly who have been instigators in riots, who have been involved with not only violence, murders, killing people, raping people, destroying property. They are the ones, despite their protestations to the contrary, they are the ones who have been involved with destroying the foundation and security of law and order in this nation. So what they have decided to do.
I love how this woman talks from such a great high moral platform, as though her point of view is the supreme point of view, and is one that we should all be listening to. In reality, I've said it before, that she's essentially just picking and choosing what she thinks is right and wrong. There are a number of points that the liberals make, potentially including abortion, that she probably does not even stand against. There you go.
Do instead of heed the voice of the public in these presidential elections, in the presidential election across the various states and constituencies, is now they're doubling down on their rhetoric, and they're going to become increasingly more and more violent. They are going to embrace their founding fathers' methodology. Their founding fathers, of course, Marx, Engels, Lenin, Che Guevara, Mao, Stalin, like go right down the list. They're little mass murderers and the people who are revolutionaries, right? They're going to embrace those tactics. And we need to be prepared, I think, in the years to come for more violence, not less. The past 8 years, the left has gotten very comfortable with violence and with intimidation tactics that have been supported and really have been shown much approbation by the former Obama administration. All of the branches of the federal government, really, especially the Justice Department. They've gotten used to getting away with this, and they're not going to learn a different tune now. So I think probably what's going to happen in the years to come is that instead of confining their rioting, let's not be disingenuous and call this protesting. They will couch their rioting and their violence in the euphemism of protesting. Do you have a right to peaceably protest? Absolutely you do. Do you have a right to burn people's houses down, to break windows, spray paint infrastructure, spray paint private property and windows?
So it's funny, she's making all these interesting points. Again, she's speaking from a high moral platform, but in reality, what is she actually doing to change any of this? Not a damn thing. You see, these women are now getting afraid as they look around and realize that society is being torn down around us because of the feminist movement that they supported, that they essentially propped up and worked within to wreak havoc on society. Women pushed for feminism. Women loved feminism. I said already, they loved that shit. What they hate now is the fact that it's destroying society, it's out of control, and they're going to go down along with it. So now they want society to turn around. Now they want the so-called patriarchy back. But at the same time, they want to keep all the rights and privileges that they've gotten. It's an absolute joke. You don't hear her calling out any of the mass privileges that women have that allow them to get away with murder, that allow them to commit these heinous acts. She's not. She sits here criticizing Donna Hilton, but she doesn't talk about the criminal justice system that's tilted towards the favor of women that would allow a woman like Donna Hilton, after committing such a miserable crime, to then walk out of jail. You gotta be kidding me. Gotta be kidding me.
And light cars on fire? No, you do not. So that would be called a riot. In the years to come, possibly even in the months to come, I think it's very plausible that they're going to move these riots up and out of traditionally minority and black neighborhoods and move them into white and upper middle class neighborhoods. There are different areas of the country where certain aggregates vote.
Did I not just call it? Did I not say that she is worried that these riots are coming to a neighborhood near her? They're going to be moving these riots out of black neighborhoods, out of minority neighborhoods, and they're going to move them into white neighborhoods, the places where she lives, the places where she's comfortable. She's afraid that her neighborhood is now going to become a cesspool for rioting, vandalizing, and everything else. Thank you, feminism. She doesn't want that in her neighborhood. She's afraid of it coming to her neighborhood. So now, of course, she's speaking out. Don't you just love the hypocrisy? Women don't actually care until their lives are at risk. They will destroy everything around them. And then after they create the chaos, they will want to be saved from the chaos that they've created, while they take no responsibility or have no agency for what they've done.
voted more for Trump or against Hillary, you could call it, and certain aggregates didn't. So what I think in the years to come and in the months to come is that these people, the leftists, are going to take out their rage and they're going to vent and they're going to do what they do, be the little revolutionaries, like Katy Perry said, and they're going to start bringing violence and rioting into areas that had not been traditionally associated with that type of behavior and activity. So what that means is that you and I are going to have to be able and capable and intimately familiar with the art and the craft of self-defense. This includes, but is not limited to, weapons work. It also is important that we focus on our physical fitness and our physical health. And I made a post on my Facebook page the other day, a little bit tongue-in-cheek, but Ashley Judd may run her mouth, her heavily Botox mouth, all day long. There are those of us whose running consists of donning a plate carrier and going for 2, 3, 4, 5, however many mile runs. It is this type of diligence and it's this type of investment that we need to be focusing on. Let's not get comfortable with the fact that your team won or whatever. They're not comfortable. They're not going to take this lying down. And there's not going to be any dialogue. They're not going to show you mercy. I don't know if you've paid attention to these rioters, like some.
Yet again, like I've pointed out, she is realizing now that liberal men by vast majority, are now sitting back and allowing things to burn. You see, here's what's happening. It's a twofold system. On one hand, you have men who are completely brainwashed and they're going along with everything because they've been completely effeminate. Their masculinity has been stripped away. Then you have another group of men that have some masculinity left. Their masculinity is intact, but they don't give a damn anymore. They're essentially the MGTOW, and we are sitting back and watching the world burn.
Of the GoPro cams and the Facebook live streams, these people are insane. They're rabid, breaking stuff, like tearing people's clothes off, beating people to pieces for whom they voted for. They're not going to calm down. And there's not enough police in the world to secure every person in every neighborhood. If you want to be able to ensure the safety of your family and the protection of your property and your neighborhood, in the months and years to come, I think it's going to be on you. The burden of that is going to be on you more clearly. It always has been, of course. But if you want to prepare for the left unraveling, I would submit that's one of the things that you need to focus on. And I understand that not everybody can do this, okay? I'm not living my life in a vacuum here. I've done enough nursing in my years to understand that not everybody has the same mobility and physical capability, okay? But there are some things you can do. Try, and as best as you can, focus on your areas of deficiency and invest in it, man. I talk about this in class, but I want to illustrate this point with you from a health standpoint, okay? A lot of people will understand the importance of investing budgetarily speaking for yourself. That we need to save up money for retirement or for a rainy day fund. Put that money in ahead of time so that in the event that you need it on a rainy day or something bad happens, God forbid, it's there for you and you don't have to panic. In the same way as you invest for your portfolio, for your retirement, for your rainy day account, invest in your health. Because God forbid, if you need to pick up a rifle and run, or you need to grab your children, pick them up, pull your pistol out and defend them, you can do that.
So you can see that this woman is clearly panicked. I mean, she's essentially talking about shit hitting the fan. I've said it. I have said it all along that it is in the air, that fear is in the air. Most women, most liberal women are so indoctrinated that they are completely in denial and blind to the fact that everything is falling apart around us. If the liberals keep on marching and stomping in the streets, we are going to end up with martial law. I've heard some people say in the comments, no, I don't want martial law. Like, I'm thinking to myself, who gives a fuck what you want? Do you really think the government gives a damn if you want martial law or not? If people are attacking, if they're attacking cops, if they're attacking civilians, if they are burning down things, these liberals are going to push it too far. They're going to burn down a building. They're going to kill someone. Something is going to happen. They're going to literally cost tons of money. And that's the biggest part. They might shut something down, shut down a city, cause something huge to happen. And when a bunch of people lose a shitload of money, martial law. And you know what? Everyone is going to welcome it. the conservatives, the average American who has any common sense, half of America is going to welcome it. They're going to say, good. Thank God. Finally. Now we can actually calm the fuck down. And the thing about martial law is under martial law, you have fewer rights. There's a man with a gun, and that's it. There's no marching in the street anymore under martial law. And martial law can last for a long time. There's no set time on martial law. And when a president announces martial law, he is the supreme dictator under martial law. He can militarize he can move forward the military. He can tell Congress to kiss his ass. He can do whatever the fuck he wants to do. He can write the laws, the rules at that point. That's martial law. And it's coming. Because all we have to do is let the liberal tards keep on acting up, keep on doing this. And you know, this guy Obama, he's actually promoting the violence. He's promoting the chaos. What do you expect? What the heck do you expect? Why do you think she's so afraid? Because she realizes of what's coming. And she probably doesn't have a man in her life to protect her. She probably does not. A lot of women don't have a man in their lives right now. And they are completely paranoid and afraid of what's coming. Of what's coming. They basically kept poking the bear. They basically kept tearing society down. And now everything is coming front and center. And they hate it. They don't want to lay in the beds that they've made for themselves.
In the years to come, I think we're going to be facing this more and more. The left is pushing for a full-blown civil war in the truest sense. I'm not talking about the war between the states, which was not a true civil war. I'm talking about really, if you're wanting to look at something that hits home.
We're not going to get a civil war. We're going to get martial law.
The revolution. You have people who are sympathetic to the British intermixed with people who are in support of the colonialists. Colonists, I should say. In the years to come, I think we're going to be facing a more divided nation. And there's nothing a president is going to do to unify this. The left has gotten so entrenched.
One of my subscribers makes a great point about her. There's no ring on her finger. Notice very carefully, there's no ring on her finger. This is a single woman.
In academia, in women's issues, they're seeking to control people with their rage. And if you want to be a free person, you need to be able to think for yourself and defend yourself. And that's the message I have for you guys this week. I hope it was helpful for y'all. If you enjoyed the video, I hope you'll subscribe. Like me on Facebook. You can follow me on Twitter. For now, it's ThePatriotNurse signing off. I'll see y'all later. Bye.
So, that was a load of crap. To be very honest, guys, I've said it before that women will cry, feminist women will cry as things go to hell. And women will pretend to care about men. This woman does not give a damn about men. It's interesting because at no point in this video does she even highlight any of the disparities that have occurred between men and women that have led to this type of crap happening in society. To the Women's March reaching this ridiculous level. This has happened because women allowed it. Women pushed for it to happen. And now they don't want to lay in the beds, the mess that they created for themselves. But I'll say this, and I'll say it quite clearly. Men are not cleaning this mess up. The men who are aware, the men who are awake are not going to clean this mess up. Women are going to lay in the beds that they've made for themselves. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Don't ever forget that. Just want to remind you guys that I make 3 of these videos every single day, plus bonus videos. So please consider going over to my YouTube homepage, clicking on the Patreon link, or you can also find a link to my Patreon in the description of this video, and become a regular contributor to my work by making a donation. Also, don't forget that you can enable notifications by clicking on the little notification button next to the subscribe button under any of my videos. Then click on the little box next to send me all notifications for this channel and hit save. If you've already done it, you don't have to do it again, and this ensures that you'll always receive a notification whenever I put out a new video or I'm live streaming. So let me know if you agree in the comments section that ultimately, when it comes to women, women will pretend to care about men, but they don't really care. They're only caring about themselves. They're only caring what they can do in society, what they can get out of society. And now that they see that shit is about to hit the fan, they are running scared, and they're basically trying to do anything and everything they can do to survive, especially as they see that modern men are weakened and quite effeminate. Let me know if you agree with my assessment in the comments section, and if you enjoyed the video, please go ahead and hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MGTOW or death. And cheers.